In this video, I'm going to show you how you can condition a dog to stay calm and quiet when you open the door to go outside. Now, we think of opening the door to go outside as one motion. We walk over, we unlatch it, we turn the handle, open the door, and just one thing. But for dogs, there's a whole bunch of little things. So right now, for him particularly, if we say, if the guardian says, you want to go outside? You're not going to bark. You're just going to quiver.
You got attention.
Yes, I see you guys still. So I would recommend if you say something like, let's go, we want to go outside, and the dogs get excited, don't say we want to go outside. Just walk to the door. They'll kind of know what's going on. But we often confuse excitement for happiness when it comes to dogs. It's harder for dogs to perform properly if they're overstimulated or excited. So what I'm going to do is I've got treats here, and I'm going to move you over here, buddy. All right, so I'm just going to walk to the door and give him a treat. And then I walk away. And I would recommend that you do this with just one dog. So I walk to the door, give him a treat, and then I walk away. I'm going to kind of get down on the floor and pantomime this, explain it first, and then I'll kind of demonstrate because I think my head's cut off when I'm walking. So what I want to do is I would actually put like a floor mat or something right there where that orange ball is. And basically, I would first teach him to go there. So just tell him to go there, throw a treat there, or you could say place and then throw the treat. And he runs over there. As soon as he steps on it, say yes, and then he licks up the treat. As soon as he vacates it, throw another one there. Do this when the other dogs are gone. And keep on doing this. So this will be like 20 to 40 treats. Eventually, he's just going to stay there. That's what we're looking for. Once he's staying there, then I would, let's say that this is the floor mat. So I give him, I throw the treats until he stays there. Then I give him a treat, and I go like this, take one step away, go back and give him a treat. You're a little nosy Parker, aren't you? And then I take 2 steps, go back and give him a treat. Now, if I take 2 steps and he got up and come with me, then I'm getting greedy. I'm going too fast. So I might just take 1 step. And I've had some dogs, I can't even take a step. I like put the dog there. I lean towards the door, and I lean back and give the treat, because if I take a step, they come towards me. We're going to keep on shrinking and making the steps smaller and smaller and smaller until the dog can achieve what I want. So now the first thing we do is we just teach the dog to go to the dog bed without the door, because that makes excitement. So I would do this maybe with about 20 treats, 3 or 4 times a day for a couple of days until you can say place. And so you're going to say place or whatever the word is before you throw the treat. And then you say yes when he gets there. I see you got a little bit of a hitch in your giddy up now. Yeah, come here, buddy. And yeah, you got a little bit of a limp. So basically, when we get to the point where we can say place and he goes there, then we're ready for stage 2. Stage 2 is we say place, he goes there, we give him a treat. We take 1 step to the door, then we come back and say yes and give him a treat. We only say yes if he stays on the floor mat. And I would take a step to the door, step back and say yes and give him a treat. I do that about 2 to 5 times until I can take that step away and I'm pretty certain he's going to stay there. Then I would go to 2 steps and then go back to him and say yes and give him the treat. Then eventually 3 steps. Eventually I walk all the way to the door, but he's learned to stay there, because when he stays there, I come back and give him a treat. So now I'm going to show you the next stages when I get to the point where I don't want to do this next stage I'm about to show you until I can put him, say, place, he stays there, and I can walk all the way to the door and he stays there. So imagining that's the case, I come to the door and I would go like this, and then I'd go back to him and give him a treat. Then I'd walk back to the door, reach a little bit further. So first time I only reach this much, then this much, then this much, then eventually and right there I made that sound, and look who's coming on over. So eventually I would do the same sort of thing. I would go over and give him a treat. Come back over here, give him a treat. So we want to condition him that me being here doesn't mean you need to race over here. I'm going to come back and give you a treat. Me reaching and touching the door handle doesn't mean you have to come over here. I'm going to come back and give you a treat. This, and it gets to the point where you're doing like this, and he stays there, and you go, and like he is right now, well, he's not on the bed, but he's not coming to the door, and then we go give him a treat. Then I would open it this much, close it, go back and give him a treat. Now, if I opened it this much, and he came over like he did, then that's too much. Then I would go back, put him back there, tell him to sit, or whatever your position is, come back over here, and maybe only open it that much, and go back and give him a treat. If you go slowly, eventually you'll be able to go like this, and he'll stay on that dog bed. Now we're ready for the last stage, to teach him to go outside. So we're going to call it Adventureland. Adventureland. And so at the end, when he can stay there, and you can open the door completely calm, then I would come up with, and I would do this with each individual dog, and then I would come up with an exit cue for every single dog. I used to have 4 dogs. I would say release, break, freedom, and parole. Each dog had its own command cue. So then I would do the same exercise with all 4 of the dogs separately. So eventually, and I actually have clients, some of my trainers that are training now at my house just went over this. They went place, and 2 of my dogs went and sat there at the same time. She goes, "That is so cute." And I'm like, but we've conditioned them to do it. So now they're just doing it together. Now we're building up. So same thing for you. Once you get every dog separately can do it and stay there while you open the door, then when you're going to let them out, what I would do is I would say the dog's name and then say a different cue for each dog. So I say adventure for one of it. Maybe his word is adventure. Maybe his word is yard. The other dog's word is break, or the other one's free, or whatever it is. So that way I can say place, all 4 dogs sit there, I come over here and open the door, and I say, release. And then 1 dog goes over there. The only dog who release is his or her release word. So now I've taken away all that excitement, and I've gotten them going to the door one at a time, and I can help them practice some self-restraint. They're not racing out the door, and that's usually when fights and stuff happen, when they get overly aroused. And they're practicing some self-restraint. And again, you've assigned a different command cue for each individual dog. Once you can do it for each individual dog, you've assigned the command cues, then I would bring your 2 best dogs together, tell them a place, and repeat the exercise, go back and give them both a treat. And each follow the same steps pattern that you did before, but you can do it faster now because they already know what to do. They're just doing it now with another dog. Then you bring your 3rd dog in here. And 3 of them stay there when you go to the door. And eventually all 4, and you're going back and giving all 4 dogs a treat. And then you're releasing them one at a time. And I would probably release Bailey last because she's the one that kind of creates a lot of these problems. And it's better for her to see them all being released first. And then she has to practice staying there, and she's coming out last. And you can give her an extra treat or something like that if you want to. But the idea is he's the old guy. And he's limping like an old guy, like me. But we want to make sure that he stays safe, and that the guardian, the more the guardians add structure, like they have to wait there. If they're waiting right here, they're right in front of the door. It's not it's as exciting as it possibly can be. They're there, they're 10 feet away. The excitement level is a little bit lower. It's easier for them to control themselves. And now you guys have an activity where you can teach the dogs to practice self-restraint, release them one at a time, and avoid all that activity, and have them be nice and relaxed. Come here, buddy. Yes. Where are we missing Miss Bailey?
She's probably licking the mats.
She's probably licking the mats. But this is how you can use a progressive approach to teach dogs to sit and stay while you open a door, and then give each one of them an individual release word, so you can help them practice a little bit of self-restraint, self-control. Right, buddy? That's very good.